Hey, welcome back. This is your business guide, Michael Rager, and welcome back to Biz Talk TV. Man, I'm so excited to have Roland with Impress Computers. Roland, how you doing today, man?
Hey, Michael, great to be back. And, we had a great Thanksgiving and, back at action, so life is good.
Well, that's what it's about. We're going to talk about one of the most exciting things in the world right now, right? Firewalls.
Now, fireballs or firewalls?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in the break. But, I'm not techie. I do what I do. I know firewalls are important. Can you explain, kind of in simple layman's term, what exactly is a firewall and why we should be concerned and why should we have a good one?
So, in basic terms, a firewall is the first layer of defense from the outside world to your internal network. So it monitors incoming and outgoing traffic, and if you want to prevent yourself from being hacked, that's your first level of defense. That's the fortress that you're going to put up. If you don't have it, the chances are you're going to be more vulnerable, plus there's less chance of detecting if somebody's actually trying to hack you or getting past. Those alerts that you get from the firewall are the things that are going to alert you, hey, somebody is trying to get in. You've got to have a good firewall with active protection.
So with your firewall, is it just kind of what you said there? I kind of see it as the moat. Kind of, is it before you get into the castle? There. And how does a firewall protect your data? And is that the only line of defense we need?
Well, it's the first line,
okay.
But of course, you've got your moat. Now you actually know, okay, somebody's trying to get in,
right?
But then you also have to have your different layers. Everything these days is built on layers of protection. So you've got to have your zero trust, which means that if some idiot in the company goes and clicks on a link or an attachment, you've got to have something to lock it down to say, hey, don't run this program. And the next thing you've got to do is have your next-gen antivirus, which has got endpoint detection remediation. What does that mean? If somebody happens to get past your firewall, get past your zero trust, when things are changing, that endpoint detection means, hey, something's going on with this, and let's lock it down before something happens. So you can isolate that particular computer that's having an issue, shut it down, remove it from the network, and then we can come and get rid of the bad guys, and it hasn't had a chance to spread. So firewalls are essential, but you can't say, hey, I've got a firewall, I'm protected, and go about your business. You've got to have those different layers.
Well, how do I go find one? Because I imagine there's a good, better, best. And when I'm looking at my company, depending on where I'm at, how do I determine good, better, or best and what's really right for me where I'm at right now?
So one of the things that you really want to look at is what is the throughput that you need? Mm-hmm. So you start off by saying, well, are we looking at just a regular 300 megabits per second? Do I need a gigabit? Or am I going with 2 gigabits per second? Do I need a 10 gig firewall? So you look at what kind of internet bandwidth do you have, and then you look at how many users do you have. So the more users you have, the higher the bandwidth. Then you've got to have a higher end firewall, because it's all about throughput. And if you don't have a good enough firewall, it's going to be checking everything, but as it does it, it throttles everything. And then you're actually going to experience slowdowns and that bottlenecking experience. So you've really got to look at throughput, how many users, and what internet speed you're getting. And the faster you are, more users, higher end you're going to go.
So how effective are the firewalls that we can buy? I don't want to say kind of quote unquote over the counter, but us as regular consumers, we're searching on Google, we're searching whatever, we look for firewall protection. How successful are those versus meeting with an expert like you and saying, hey, Mike, use this?
So the whole thing is how you configure it. So first of all, it's, well, I'm going to buy something off the shelf,
mm-hmm.
but then who's going to set it up?
Right.
Now, if you buy a basic firewall, it's going to have limited protection. So if you really want to have good protection, if you go with a Sonicwall or a Barracuda or a Fortinet, we personally like the Sonicwalls. It's provided by Dell, and our techs are very familiar with it, but all the rest of them do a good job. they're going to come with active protection, which means that you have an annual subscription. And it's just like your antivirus. You pay an annual fee for your antivirus. The same thing with your active protection on your firewall. If you don't have that, it's almost like you might as well just get around to not have a firewall, because you're not being actively protected. And then it's a matter of setting it up correctly. And the next thing for having a firewall is that if you've got two locations, and if you want to have those two locations talking to each other seamlessly, then you'd actually have a firewall in each location, and you'd set up a bridge between the two.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I know that, when I'm thinking about protecting my computer and things happen, it's just important to be able to have, somebody like you to go to and talk to. So how do people get a hold of you, when they have something going on?
The best thing to do, give us a call at 281-647-9977, or reach us on the web, impresscomputers.tech. That's IMPRESS, computers.tech. We'll sit down with you and make the best recommendations for your environment. So, we might decide, you're a smaller company, let's start off with a basic firewall, and then we can upgrade that down the road as you start expanding and you get more employees.
I want to ask one more question, because I know we're going in the holiday season here. We're getting ready. Should us as business owners be ready for increased attacks because we're coming into this type?
Absolutely. In fact, I was getting a call from a company on the way here, and one of their employees got a pop-up, said it was from Microsoft. They got scared. They phoned the number.
Ooh.
The so-called Microsoft guys came in for 4 hours on their machine, and they were telling them that their bank account had been compromised, and they had to go to the bank and transfer $90,000 to a secure account. And fortunately, the bank stopped them. But it's like, you've got to be careful. You're under attack. Pay attention. Don't click on links. Don't click on attachments. And if you get a pop-up, never, ever, ever phone the number on the pop-up. Also, don't hit the X, because if you hit the X, it's game over. Control, Shift, Escape, and end task. That's the way to get rid of that pop-up, and then do a disk cleanup. So don't click on links, don't click on attachments, never hit the X. Control, Shift, Escape is going to take care of it.
All right, Roland. Well, thanks a lot. I always have so much fun when you come in here. It's great. We can joke around before and after, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week. So this is Michael Rager, your business guide. We'll be back, and we're going to have some more Business Talk Radio TV for you.